Welcome to Global North. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. The United States Supreme Court has delivered a rare, unanimous 9-0 decision, sending a powerful message on gun rights, national sovereignty, and religious liberty. This complete agreement among justices highlights the significance of the cases at hand. The ruling addresses a lawsuit from Mexico against American gun manufacturers and a religious freedom dispute in Wisconsin, both testing the limits of government power. The court's decision reinforces legal protections for lawful industries and religious organizations, clarifying the boundaries of U.S. law. These cases, though different, both challenge the reach of government and the protection of constitutional rights. Let's break down how this landmark ruling will shape the future of American law and society. The central case in this international legal battle was Mexico's bold lawsuit against several major U.S. gun manufacturers, a move that captured global attention and sparked heated debate on both sides of the border. Mexico accused these companies of fueling cartel violence by allowing their firearms to be trafficked illegally into the country, where they often end up in the hands of dangerous criminal organizations responsible for widespread violence and instability. Seeking billions of dollars in damages, Mexico argued that the gunmakers' marketing and distribution practices were reckless, making it far too easy for weapons to cross the border and contribute to the ongoing crisis of gun violence. This unprecedented legal action was not just about compensation, it was an attempt to hold American companies accountable for the devastating impact their products have had beyond U.S. borders and to set a new international precedent. In response, the gun manufacturers invoked the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, or PLCAA, a powerful U.S. law that shields gunmakers from being held liable when their products are misused by others, even in cases involving criminal activity. If Mexico's lawsuit were to succeed, it could set a groundbreaking legal precedent, potentially opening the door for other foreign governments to use litigation as a tool to influence U.S. policy and business practices. The case raised fundamental questions about national sovereignty, the limits of American law, and whether U.S. courts should be used to resolve disputes brought by foreign nations against American industries. Ultimately, the Supreme Court was called upon to decide whether a foreign nation like Mexico could challenge a powerful U.S. industry in American courts, a decision with far-reaching implications for international law and cross-border accountability. The Supreme Court unanimously sided with the gun manufacturers, ending Mexico's lawsuit. The justices ruled that PLCAA clearly bars such cases, protecting lawful commerce from foreign interference. Both conservative and liberal justices agreed, allowing the lawsuit would undermine Congress's authority. The court emphasized that only Congress can create exceptions to federal law, not foreign governments or the judiciary. Mexico's arguments failed to show any violation of U.S. law by the gun makers. The decision affirms U.S. sovereignty and shields American industries from foreign lawsuits over crimes committed abroad. This precedent protects not just gun makers, but all lawful American businesses from similar international challenges. The ruling reinforces that U.S. law, not foreign policy, governs American commerce. Beyond the statute itself, the Supreme Court's recent opinion delivered a major victory for Second Amendment advocates, sending ripples through the legal and political landscape. This decision is being hailed as a pivotal moment for gun rights supporters, who have long argued for broader protections under the Constitution. In its written opinion, the justices specifically described AR-15-style rifles as common firearms, emphasizing that these weapons are owned by millions of Americans for a variety of lawful purposes, including self-defense, sport shooting, and hunting. This recognition by the highest court in the land marks a significant shift in how such firearms are viewed under the law. By using this language, the court has strengthened the legal case against state and local bans on these rifles, making it increasingly difficult for lawmakers to justify sweeping restrictions. The ruling signals that any attempt to limit access to these firearms will face heightened scrutiny in the courts. The court's statement draws a direct line to the landmark 2008 Heller decision, which protected weapons in common use for self-defense. By reaffirming and expanding on this precedent, the justices have clarified that modern rifles fall squarely within the scope of the Second Amendment. By labeling these modern rifles as common, the court not only updates, but also fortifies the Heller precedent, ensuring that the definition of protected firearms evolves with contemporary usage and ownership patterns. This judicial shift puts gun control advocates on the defensive, forcing them to rethink their legal strategies in future battles over firearm regulations. the decision is expected to influence ongoing debates and legislative efforts across the country. While the debate over these firearms is far from over, the legal landscape has undeniably shifted in favor of gun rights. Americans on both sides of the issue are now grappling with the implications of this new precedent. Lower courts across the nation must now contend with the Supreme Court's clear and forceful stance on the commonality and legality of these rifles, setting the stage for a new era in Second Amendment jurisprudence. In another unanimous decision, the Supreme Court sided with Catholic Charities Bureau in Wisconsin, which was denied a tax exemption granted to other religious groups. The court found Wisconsin's actions discriminatory, violating federal law and religious equality. Justice Sotomayor wrote that government cannot treat one religious group less favorably without a compelling reason. The ruling ordered Wisconsin to treat Catholic charities like other religious organizations. This decision was celebrated as a strong defense of religious freedom and equal treatment under the law. But Wisconsin's response would soon spark a new legal showdown. After losing at the Supreme Court, Wisconsin officials announced plans to eliminate the religious exemption for all, rather than comply with the ruling. Critics called this a retaliatory move, punishing every faith-based group in the state. Beckett, representing Catholic Charities, accused the state of bad faith and asked the Wisconsin Supreme Court to intervene. The legal fight now tests whether states can sidestep Supreme Court orders by changing laws after losing. This standoff highlights growing resistance to judicial authority and the fragility of the rule of law. The outcome will set a precedent for how states respond to federal court mandates. The nation is watching to see if the court's authority will be upheld or undermined. These unanimous Supreme Court decisions send a clear and powerful message. Federal law and constitutional rights stand firm against both foreign and domestic challenges. The Supreme Court, as the highest judicial authority in the nation, acts as a guardian of the Constitution, ensuring that the foundational principles of our democracy are upheld, no matter the source of the threat. The recent Mexico ruling, for example, not only secures U.S. industries from potentially crippling foreign lawsuits, but also reinforces the concept of national sovereignty. By dismissing these claims, the court protects American businesses and workers, ensuring that international disputes do not undermine domestic stability or economic growth. The court's strong language on firearms further strengthens Second Amendment protections, making it clear that any future attempts at gun control will face a much higher legal standard. This decision not only impacts current laws, but also sets a precedent that will influence debates and legislation for years to come. The Wisconsin case underscores the enduring importance of religious freedom in American life, and highlights the need for states to respect the authority of the judiciary. It serves as a reminder that individual liberties must be protected, even when they are challenged by shifting political or social pressures. Together, these cases remind us that Supreme Court decisions have real-world impact, shaping the boundaries of government power and individual rights. The outcomes of these rulings ripple through society, affecting not just the parties involved, but all Americans. The rule of law depends on both the fair enforcement of legal decisions and a collective respect for the court's authority. Without this balance, the justice system cannot function as intended, and the rights of citizens may be at risk. As these stories unfold, they challenge all Americans to remain vigilant in defending constitutional principles and the integrity of the justice system. It is the responsibility of every citizen to stay informed, engaged, and committed to upholding the values that define our nation.